Hey guys, I'm Nathaniel Izzard, and I'm the owner of Izzard Chocolate. And I was just going to talk a little bit about how I found my passion within chocolate. I used to own a company, or work at a company that represented lighting manufacturers, and it was a good job. I worked as a project manager, and but it was an office job, and I'm more of an on-my-feet kind of person. And eventually decided to quit that job, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And that was kind of I had been for a couple of years at that job thinking, okay, I want to quit this job, but I don't really know what I'm going to go into. And so I don't know where I'm going to go. And so I felt like I couldn't quit the job. And then one day I just decided, to also preface it, I had been kind of saving my money. I'd kind of been reading some books about how to save money and you know, how to follow your passion. So I'd kind of saved up to where I could quit my job without needing another job. It wasn't, I was able to have some savings to live off of. And I would recommend that to anybody. Like if you really want to eventually quit your job, then get 6 months worth of savings set aside, and that's going to take a while, and you're going to have to like make sacrifices. But that was one of the best things I've ever done, and I've also recommended it to other people, and they've done it and told me how much they love the flexibility and the freedom that gives them to not necessarily quit their job, but they don't feel like they're tied down if they do want to quit their job. And so anyway, I eventually just decided to quit my job, and I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to be okay. And as part of I'm going to quit my job and I don't know what I'm going to do, well, really, so I tell the story as I quit my job and I bought a plane ticket to Italy, but really what it was is I have no idea what I'm going to do. I just quit my job and everybody's asking me what I'm going to do. And so the easiest thing for me to do was say, I'm going to Italy. And so that's what I did, and it was the best 3 months that I had had so far. It was, I ended up staying with a family while I was there, an Italian family, and it was a great time. I was super lazy. I really didn't do much at all while I was there, other than eat awesome food and travel around and visit with Italians and learn about their culture. And they're really amazing people, and they're lazy too, and they love lazy people to come and hang out with them. And so I fell in love with the culture. I kind of had a classical training growing up, and so I knew a lot about Roman history and Greek history, and so I loved going to museums where you'd see these ancient mosaics and statues and carvings and all of the culture, the ancient culture, but then their culture that they have today as well. I love that as well, and so I think that was a big part of finding myself, realizing that you don't have to go down a career path. You can always change your career path, number one, and that at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are more worried about what other people are going to think about them, and that keeps them from following what they actually want to do. And I think the important part is going, really, no one really cares what I do. I mean, close people, your family, your close friends, they care what you do. They care if you are harming yourself or anything like that. But for the most part, people want you to do what is going to make you happy. And I think that actually, I'm going to actually change that. People don't want you to do what makes you happy oftentimes because they fear themselves looking bad. And so oftentimes people can keep you tell you, oh, you should stay in your career, you should do what everybody else is doing, because they're afraid that if you go and have an amazing time, that they're gonna miss out. And it's not a negative thing in the sense that there's like, it's a subconscious thing for them. It's not a consciously, I'm gonna try to manipulate my friend. Oh, okay. But I think that the thing that you have to do is you have to decide, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna get out there and do things that that most people don't do, and it's not easy, and it's kind of lonely, at least at the beginning. But the cool part is, at some point, if you really get a stride and you really enjoy what you do, then you'll eventually become the person that everyone wants to hear how you got into what you did. And so to go back, I came back from Italy. I came back and I started learning about different types of processes, different things to make. Chocolate was on that list of things to make, and I didn't have a lifelong love of learning how to make chocolate. I just decided I wanted to figure out how chocolate was made. I absolutely loved learning about the process, and I ended up making chocolate in my kitchen, fell in love with that process, and eventually started selling at the farmer's market. And it was actually really hard. The first couple of years were really hard years, and I almost quit several times. But I persevered, and I'd say that's the other thing, is when you do something you're passionate about, you're gonna have lows, and you just have to get through those lows, and then you come up on the highs, and it's definitely worth the risk. But I'd say if you're gonna do something, if you're gonna follow your passion, the first step is just taking that first step.